Hello everyone and welcome to the New York Empoleon's Week 3 battle of the UBL Season 3. We are taking on the Helsinki Hydreigons and Coach Vepsis, going through our little tour of Europe, and starting with, of course, actually we just haven't uploaded a team from America yet as far as the team names go, so that's pretty interesting. Anyway, we are 0-2 last week. I don't even care that we lost. I had so much fun losing. I've not had that much fun losing. Actually, I had that much fun losing to Nate as well. That game was super fun as well. But that didn't feel like a loss the whole way. This one felt like I just got set up on and swept, and it was fine. I was totally cool with it. But obviously, looking for a win this week. So I actually have a fairly decent matchup, except for a couple of mons that I really need to eliminate. So I'm going to go through that really quick. His team is Scizor, Celebi, Torrent, Greninja, Muck, Alolan, Alabamola, Dragalge, Diancie, Moltres, Piloswine, or Piloswine, I'm not sure, Mega Gallade, and Gliscor, with Greninja and Moltres being his two possible Z users. Now, you may notice that I have a significant fire weakness on my team. So Moltres is 100% coming and is 100% a problem. I have very little to switch into the dual stabs with Moltres, which is a problem. Not being able to switch into fire flying types is actually a big deal. I have very few fire resists on my team straight up. Obviously Slowbro, but Slowbro matches up really badly against the rest of the team in Celebi, Scizor, Greninja, Muck, all having super effective stabs. And then, so that's a problem. And then Charizard, which resists the fire type, but doesn't resist the flying type, and gets nuked by a Z Hurricane. So, anyway, this week is all about figuring out how to break Moltres and a couple other threats, and then setting up and sweeping. So, my first mon is going to be Crocodile, which is Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Knockoff, and Taunt. Taunt is for Curse Muck. It's for things like Diancie trying to set up rocks, although that one's a little bit, because this has to switch out on that. Gliscor trying to roost stall. I don't have a ton of speed on this, as you'll notice. I'm running enough speed to outspeed uninvested Gliscor, or even minimally invested Gliscor, and uninvested Celebi. So that's really the speed set that I'm running. If he chooses to run more speed on those mons, then I am going to be outsped. I also will outspeed any Adamant Scizor, which is really good. I'm Intimidate because it's a more supportive set. Yes, I'm max attack, but that little bit of speed, the rest is just done to HP. I have the Aguav Berry, so I'm fairly bulky, can take a couple of hits. And then my dual stabs of Earthquake and Knockoff, despite the fact that most of his team can hit me really hard, I can also hit most of his team pretty hard. So that's really nice. Scizor, which can sort of switch into an Earthquake, does not want to be knocked off. Muck obviously doesn't want to be knocked off or take an Earthquake. Earthquake can hit the Dragalge, the Diancie. So I've got some options there. And then Celebi, which can switch into an Earthquake, does not want to take a knockoff, doesn't want to take a taunt. And then I can set up Stealth Rocks potentially during the mid-game. I don't think I need them right off the word go, although they aren't bad. And this is pretty much a lead for me, since it stops Piloswine from setting up rocks with taunt, since this is not a super favorable matchup against Piloswine, but I do get the Intimidate, so the Icicle Crash isn't going to kill me. And then I can knock off if I think that's going to be something that he, like if I click taunt and he stays in, then I have to debate whether he's going to go Gallade, and I click knockoff and end up just losing outright to a +3 Gallade. Or +1 Gallade, then I assume he's going to Swords Dance or Bulk Up as my switch into Skarmory. So, yeah, we got problems there, but otherwise, Taunt is a very safe first turn play, and then I probably Stealth Rock, honestly, the next turn on a potential switch into Gallade. So, I don't knock off, just until that Mega Gallade evolves, I do not want to knock off and give it +1. Next up, we have my Heracross. Heracross this week does so much damage. Rock Slide hits that Moltres on a potential switch in there. Close Combat hits, like, nukes everything on his team pretty much, except for the things that specifically resist it, which get 100% nuked by Facade. Close Combat, Oko's Piloswine, if I have Guts Boost, like, it just straight up is dead. Facade is amazing, does like 90% to Moltres, so it definitely kills it after rocks. It does like 60% to Muck. It does, like, it's like just nukes everything. Facade plus Close Combat can kill the Scizor, and I have enough speed to outspeed all Scizor. That's what I'm running, which I was able to do well being Adamant, which is super duper nice. It also has the added benefit of outspeeding a pretty uninvested, or fairly invested Gliscor, as well as a somewhat invested Celebi. Now, Facade, just outside of things that resist, which all do not appreciate Close Combat, it just does so much damage, and if I can get a Swords Dance up, which I don't necessarily expect I'm going to be able to do, there's not much that I can specifically set up on. The Piloswine is a maybe, since I know it's going to switch out, but it's going to switch out into something that specifically threatens me, so getting off the damage is probably better. But that all being said, if I get a Swords Dance up, this thing, it will kill everything. I mean, just straight up, Facade will just nuke anything on this team. And this team is reasonably slow, so if I can take out some of the slower threats, then I can really just go to town with Heracross. But Heracross is a breaker. It is not going to click Swords Dance that often unless I specifically end up in a situation where I can click Swords Dance somehow. But otherwise, this thing is not supposed to sweep this week. It's just to break some walls down, do some damage, and then it will probably go down. But like, I think it'll be super fun to Facade. Flame Orb Facade with Guts Boost. Next up, we have my Charizard X coming back this week with the Jolly Nature, enough speed to outspeed, max speed, Gliscor, you know, just in case, I don't know. I figured it doesn't hurt to do that, and it has the added benefit of outspeeding Moltres no matter what, so I figured, you know, I'll just give it a little extra speed. The bulk didn't really make a difference, so might as well do that. This thing also has Swords Dance, and it has Roost, as well as just this dual stabs with Flare Blitz and Dragon Claw, which hits the entire team neutrally, with the exception of only regular Diancie, but that thing does not necessarily switch into a Charizard, which can run Earthquake very easily. And I certainly considered it, but the potent combination of Swords Dance Roost was very, very tempting, since I can switch this thing in, Mega Evolve, if rocks are up, Roost, get back to full health, and then go from there. Swords Dance is actually fairly set upable, and once I set up with Swords Dance, even Diancie doesn't really want to take a Flare Blitz, let's be honest. Pilot Swine can take 1 +2 Flare Blitz from full, but it does like 75%, and so that's pretty nice as well. And then being able to break the Gliscor is also super helpful. Those are all things that are getting in the way of my eventual sweeper, which we'll get to in a minute. Now this Skarmory, I should probably name it Bait, but it's going to be called Huey this week, and it is Rocky Helmet. It has Roost, Defog, Brave Bird, and Rock Tomb. That rock move is not Stealth Rock, it is Rock Tomb. I am running 84 speed on this so that I outspeed a Moltres that is speed creeping a Heracross. So there's a calc for you. So if Moltres is running a max speed, like max speed timid, then it will outspeed me. If it's running modest, I will always outspeed it after a Rock Tomb, and if it's running enough speed to outspeed max speed Jolly Heracross, I will still outspeed after a Rock Tomb. Now, this thing baits the Moltres in so hard. This thing is literally, most sets can do nothing. Moltres, obviously with the Flame Body, can burn it if I go for a Brave Bird or an Iron Head. And then, so the best thing I can do against a Moltres, usually on the switch in, is Roost and switch out, which gives the Moltres a free attack, and I don't, as you know, have a lot of fire type switch in. So the first time he brings in the, like, honestly, I don't know if I want to reveal the Rock Tomb turn 1. Like, I'm not gonna, obviously this isn't a lead. This thing can come in on the Scizor, the Muck, kind of wall out those guys. But the one thing that always happens is that the Moltres wants to come in. If Stealth Rocks aren't up, the Moltres will come in because this thing will probably set them up, and it doesn't want to come in when they're already up, so it'll come in before that, since this thing is usually safe to do so against. Rock Tomb allows me to just nuke it. It doesn't OHKO a Moltres. I'm not running any attack investment, so it doesn't even OHKO, but that's fine. I don't need it to. 2 KO is fine. So we are going to be hopefully catching that Moltres there. Next up is my other piece of breaking power, which is my Tapu Koko this week, which has the Nature's Madness with Spunium Z. Thunderbolt doesn't even U-turn. This kills every single thing on his team after a Nature's Madness. The coverage that I have allows me to get a kill on 1 Mon, guaranteed. I outspeed everything on his team. 75% plus 25% kills every single thing on his team. Or plus another attack, which does 25% to every single thing on his team. The only exception, the only thing that can maybe handle that, would be the Muck coming in and the Berry popping. Since then it will only have technically taken 25% instead of 75%, but then I can U-turn or Thunderbolt, knowing he's going to have to go for the recycle, and if I U-turn and he recycles, then I can go out into my Crook and then go for a knockoff. So we've got options there. That's not a huge deal, but this thing really, honestly, Pilliswine, if it's not max Spadef Pilliswine, Nature's Madness into Dazzling Beam kills it, and if the rocks are up, then it kills it even if it is max Spadef. So that works for me. There's a crazy calc I did in my front office where it's like 12% from rocks, and then you take that away from the 75%, so it does 66% instead of 75% with Nature's Madness, because it's at 88%, and that's 3/4 of that. But then you subtract that from the 88%, so then you're actually at 21% or 22%, and the max special defense Pilliswine takes minimum 21.7%. So, like, it kills after rocks, but either way, a little bit of chip from something else will also manage to kill a Piloswine, and the Piloswine is a pivot, so it probably will take chip at some point. I can also just U-turn the first time I come in with this if rocks aren't up, expecting the Piloswine to come in, because it does bait that in, and then U-turn out, and then the next time come in and just click Nature's Madness. So this thing outspeeds his entire team, and it kills everything except, you know, Scarfers, and Bullet Punch Scizor. Next up, and finally, is my sweeper for this week, which is Stefan the Scolipede. Obviously, Baton Pass is banned, but we don't need it this week. We are just coming in, getting a speed boost, Swords Dancing, and killing everything. Aquatail, Megahorn, Earthquake, that coverage is perfect for his entire team. The only mons that I do not super affect are Scizor, which does not want to take an Aquatail or Earthquake, I guarantee it. And the Mega Gallade, which doesn't want to take a +2 Megahorn. That's just a fact. And then everything else, and the Alamola, which doesn't want to take +2 Megahorn. So those are the only mons that I don't have some super effective coverage for. Everything else I manage to hit super effectively, and I'm able to just kind of nuke once I get to +2 and once I'm speed boosting. Even an Adamant Choice Banded Scizor does only 65 to 75% with a Bullet Punch. And yes, I have Life Orbs, so it's going to be chipping me down slowly, but if he's not Banded Scizor, then I might be able to just sweep. Since that is really, that and Muck are really his only good forms of priority. Piloswine could be running Ice Shard, but that is not running other things, so we'll see about that. Anyway, this was a long team builder. It's just because I have a very specific plan and I wanted to kind of go over it with you guys, which is break, 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 Scolipede. That's it. This thing has enough speed to outspeed... this thing has enough speed to outspeed Mega Gallade, speed creeping Charizard. Because I didn't think it was worth going for max speed and not putting any bulk into it, so I have a little bit of bulk. And so, assuming Mega Gallade doesn't waste EVs and just go max speed for some reason, max speed or Jolly Gallade outspeeding Charizard, I outspeed that by 1 point. So before a speed boost, and then after speed boost doesn't really matter. That's why I didn't really want to go with max speed. That's the set. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully you guys enjoy and this battle goes well. I'm really excited for it. I think it'll be a good one. I'll see you guys back here in a moment with that battle. Before we get started, I just want to say thank you to Vepsis, my opponent this week, for being incredibly willing to play around my schedule, which has been a little bit wonky. So, a lot's been going on in my life this week, and things that I really can't talk about, things related to work mostly, that have just been super chaotic, but then those obviously I'm not going to go into, but have been taking up a lot of my time. I've had like multiple meetings with multiple people in the company, out of the company, trying to figure out what's going on. There's just a couple situations that are happening simultaneously that have been really chaotic. And then secondarily, my sister's boyfriend's grandmother passed away yesterday. And his parents, so he's from India, and his parents were here to visit, and they have to go back to India, but they wanted to meet my mom and I, so I've been trying to schedule things such that I can disappear for a little while to try to meet his parents and things like that, because I've never met his parents because they're from India. So shout outs to Vepsis, who has been very willing to, for me to say, like, literally yesterday I was like, alright, don't know if I'm going to be able to play at the time that we had scheduled. And then he was like, okay, cool, when are you able to play? And I gave him a couple times, like, cool, just let me know and I'll make it work. And I really appreciate that. And I feel like people deserve to be shouted out when they have been incredibly helpful and willing to make those kind of reparations. So that's not the word for that. Reparations means, like, there was a crime and they're repairing things. So, but willing to make those concessions, I should say, and just willing to work on my schedule. So thank you so much. And with that, I will jump into the battle. All right, everyone, welcome back. Here we go. We're going to see what Vepsis has brought. Honestly, the fact that I'm now only in one league makes every battle more nerve-wracking, because it's like, oh god, this is my only battle. There's no Moltres there. All right. Wow. Okay, his team's really weak to Earthquake, but there's no Moltres there. And I've never been happier. There's no Piloswine and there's no Moltres. That's mind-boggling to me. Alright, so he's got Mega Gallade, so I do have to watch out for that. Can't spam knockoff till that thing is gone. He's got the Greninja, so he does have the speed, and I expect it's probably Scarf to try to outspeed my Coco. Now, I was going to lead with my Crocodile to catch his Piloswine, which is his probable lead, but he doesn't have it. So that changes, that plan's out the window. Now, Gliscor could lead, but so could Greninja. Greninja's a very possible lead here. I don't want to lead Heracross. I don't want to lead Scolipede. Charizard I could do. I could certainly lead Charizard, although then if he does lead Gliscor, then I'm in trouble. So I think I'm just going to lead with... I'm going to keep my plan, and I'm going to lead with the Crocodile. I cannot believe there's no Moltres there, guys. I literally recorded the team builder. I haven't even stood up since then. I recorded the team builder. Well, I stood up. I got some water, but, like, that's it. And I'm here. And, like, the whole team builder, I literally just talk about Moltres, 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 like, how much of a problem that is for my team. And I am blown away, literally boondoggled that he doesn't have it. There's the Deancey. That's interesting. So Deancey, assumingly your max HP, maybe modest. I don't know what item, but if you are modest max HP, you will survive an Earthquake and you will kill me with Moonblast. You also could be Shuka. So I could go out into my Skarm here. He could just try to set up rocks. But I don't want to just, like, die to a Moonblast. Although, like, Crocodile isn't that important, but that being said, it's more important than just dying to a Moonblast. Right? Or do I want to just Earthquake here? Scout out what he's going to do. Or do I just go Skarm? I mean, Skarm can't really touch this thing, either. Because of the set that I brought. But it does have the defog to try to get rid of rocks. I do think he's going to try to set up rocks, because there's no way that my Crocodile stays in right now. But he might just Moonblast. Honestly, if he Moonblasts and I find out that he's max special attack modest, I'm just going to Earthquake here. He doesn't have the Moltres, so he does have the Shuka. Okay, that's fine. But I know it's gone now. And that will help my Scolipede later on kill this thing, so... let's see, does he Moonblast? He does straight Moonblast. And are you max special attack modest? It seems like he's got some bulk. But he does kill me with the crit! Oh my gosh, okay. Deancey kills. So I don't even get information. It does look like he has some bulk with Moonblast. Really? Really? Whoops, that's not what I wanted. That crit likely mattered based on the roll that I got there. I'm gonna have to be honest. On some level, there's almost no way it didn't. Wait, what? I don't understand. Okay. Heracross probably doesn't kill you right now. Without the Guts boost. Or does it? Actually, it might. It's too close of a roll for me to want to take it. I'll go Skarm here. Skarm doesn't actually touch you. Little do you know. I could go Coco. But you could have Earth Power. Man, that crit sucks. He's got enough HP to kind of take any one hit at this point from anything, except maybe Scolipede. Where's Scolipede? I don't have much time left. Oops. Yeah, I'm gonna go Scully here, which may not be my best option, but... he's at 60%. And if he is bulky, then he will live. Based on the damage Crocodile did with a Shuka, it looks like max HP, but not max bulk, max defense. I mean, it would have been a high roll if he was max defense. Now I could... so I don't know if he's modest. So at this point I'm going to double into Skarm here. I just don't... If I had survived, gotten an Aqua off Berry, yeah, he's going to switch out. So, I don't know. And in comes the Gliscor. And gets the Toxicorb. Okay, so we know it's Toxicorb. That's better information for me to have. Obviously, I can't really do much to him. He can't really do much to me. So clicking Rock Tomb, I know that that's not going to do all that much to anything. But speed it's a thing. It's an important thing. Or I can just go into my Heracross, since it's very unlikely Gliscor can actually touch Heracross. It doesn't make a lot of sense for him to run Acrobatics with the Toxicorb, which is why I wasn't going to bring in my Heracross until I knew he was Toxicorb. And this is one of the few things that I can definitely set up a Swords Dance against. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go into Heracross here. I don't know. He might knock off. That would actually be worst case scenarios if he clicks knock off right here, because I don't get my Guts boost. It didn't even occur to me that he might knock off there until after I clicked the button, but he didn't. So we see the U-turn. I don't know what your switch into this is. I'm gonna get my Guts boost either way, which is fine, because then I can actually bring this thing in later and not have to worry about the knockoff as much from Mega Gallades or Gliscors or Mucks, which is good. Matthews, that is the Mega Gallade. Okay, so you're gonna Mega Evolve here. I'm obviously gonna switch out into my Scar. Excuse me, into my Scarm. And not think too much about it. I know I'm doing a lot of switching, but he hasn't set up rocks, so it doesn't matter too much. And we actually have gotten some information. The fact that he wasn't willing to stay in with his Diancie against my Scolipede. Had I straight up set up a Swords Dance right there, I don't know how much bulk that Gliscor has, or what it would have done to me and on the pullback, but if he's like not physically defensive Gliscor, then I would have just killed him with an Aqua Tail. But if he is physically defensive Gliscor, then I wouldn't have. So I'm expecting a Psycho Cut or a Swords Dance. Those are the two things that I could see coming here. And there's the Psycho Cut, okay, which is fine, because he'll take Rocky Helmet. Oh no, that doesn't reveal my Rocky Helmet, which is also fine. So at this point I can Brave Bird. I don't die to a close combat or a Fire Punch, I don't think. And even if I do die to a Fire Punch, what am I going to do about it? I can't switch this thing out right now. Yeah, I definitely don't die to a Fire Punch. Alright, or I can Roost, scout out what he wants to do, but I think I'm going to Brave Bird. If he does close combat, he takes Rocky Helmet, he minuses his defenses, and then Brave Bird kills him. So there's that. And he's just going to double. Goes out into his Gliscor. And I'm going to click Brave Bird, and then I'm going to Roost here, since he U-turned last time off my Skarmory. And I showed that I wanted to go in Heracross last time. Alright, that did 25%. Not quite. Just under 25%. So that is physically defensive Gliscor. Alright, that's fine. I'm going to click Roost. I have no real incentive not to click Roost here. He's going to U-turn. He's going to take some Rocky Helmet chip. Scout that out. And then I'll have my Sturdy back. So he's down to 75%, which works for me. So I'm going to mark that he's at 75%. I can't get rocks up this game, unfortunately. Even though it looks like his Gliscor may or may not have Defog, because if it did, he'd just stay in with it, even if he can't touch me. Well, if he has U-turn, Earthquake, Defog, and Roost, then he'd have to click U-turn there. Question is, what is your Skarmory answer? Dragalge? I mean, both of its stabs, its adaptability is kind of useless if I'm with my typing, or just against a steel type in general. Muck? So it is Dragalge. Do you get a super effective move for Skarmory? What do you get? I mean, Hidden Powers, obviously. Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt would be the worst case scenario. Okay, so I can't just stay in and scout for Thunderbolt. That's not the idea. I don't have a great switch in here. Since Skarm is sort of my de facto check to Gliscor and Mega Gallade. Not de facto, it's my answer to Gliscor and Mega Gallade. Now, if you Thunderbolt Coco, it's not stab. You're not going for a poison type attack right now. But then I don't kill you anyway. What do you do to Heracross? Your DrSlaking Dragalge. With a Thunderbolt. 50%. But Facade doesn't quite get the KO. This thing, I kind of need this, I really do need this thing around. And Scolipede, I don't want taking that kind of damage. Like, if he Draco's just predicting any switch in, then everything dies except for Coco. I don't think he predicts Coco coming in here, so I'm going to go Coco here. And I think it's going to be a Thunderbolt. I really do. But Charizard doesn't resist it yet. Yeah, there's the Thunderbolt. And it gets me down to 110. Which did 33. So it's definitely not any sort of boosting item. In fact, it's not even modest. Wait. It did what? Is that 43? 153 minus 110. Yeah, it's 43. Okay, I can do math. That's just max special attack, but it's a low roll if he's modest. Okay, so the roll exists if he's modest, but he's definitely not specs or anything. Now, I can do 75% and then lose my Coco to a Sludge Bomb. I can U-turn and go into my Heracross, or my Skarmory again. I think U-turning and going Heracross is my best play. Since Sludge Bomb can't poison. Yeah, I'm going to click U-turn here. I'm actually going to switch out. So that works out for me even better, because then I do get switch initiative here. Goes out into Bob, which is the Muck. Alright, so we're just going to click U-turn. How much does a close combat from Heracross do to you? It kills. Straight up. I could also go Charizard and finally get that Mega Evolution off, which I kind of need to do. And I know I did 20%. Alright, let's take a look. Before I do anything else, I know that I did 20%-ish with U-turn. A little under. So yeah, you're max HP, but not physically defensive. Based on that roll. So then Charizard can do 79 to 93.8%. So if you're at, let's say you're at 81%, we're looking at like a pretty good chance to kill with Flare Blitz, and I am going to do that. I think I do want Charizard Mega'd anyway. So we are just going to go Charizard here, and we are going to Mega Evolve, and I could Swords Dance. Gunk Shot's doing 60%. Shadow Sneak's doing not enough to kill after that. So I could Swords Dance, but then the Mega Gallade still revenges my Charizard. But then I can always just switch it out. Or I can just straight-click Flare Blitz, pick up a boatload of damage on anything. The Gliscor can't take 2, but then it also couldn't take a +2 one either. And there is a chance that he lives anyway, and I don't really want to take the recoil from Flare Blitz. So I think I am going to click Swords Dance. I don't see this Muck staying in right now, to be perfectly honest. And he does switch it out, and goes out into Sparkle, straight into Gliscor. We have enough speed to guarantee outspeed this. And we know he's not Scarf, because he's got the Toxicord. So yeah, this is his check to Charizard, and I kill you now with a +2 Flare Blitz. He will go Mega Gallade after this. There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to do that. But even after the Poison Heal, I kill you with I still kill you after with the Flare Blitz. If you're max HP, max physical defense, minimum it does 90, and that is 90. So it does 90.6. So let's say he's at 91%, which it looks like he's not even. This should still kill. Max HP, max defense, bold nature, or impish nature. This should still kill. And again, even if I'm not getting the sweep right now with Charizard, that's fine. That's not even Charizard's real job. It's just to break things so that Scolipede can sweep later on in the game. And this should pick up the KO, and it does. So Charizard, the Mega Charizard, I can't even type, X kills Gliscor with Flare Blitz. Now, if he's running Adamant Gallade, he doesn't outspeed me, but it's really not worth me risking that. Since Mega Gallade does 70% minimum, 111, even Jolly does mins out at 111 with close combat. So, definitely no sense in staying in. Earthquake also kills. Drain Punch doesn't. Drain Punch doesn't. And maybe he thinks that I'm bulky, but I'm not. I mean, he knows that I'm at least max attack. And I outsped his Gliscor. Maybe he thought that maybe he had some speed investment, so he knows that I'm kind of fast. Maybe he didn't have speed investment. He has no idea what my speed investment is. Either way, if he doesn't go Greninja or if he doesn't go Gallade, I'm gonna be shocked. Even Diancie, presuming that it is incredibly bulky, does not appreciate a Flare Blitz. He might survive one, though. He goes out into his Dragalge. You must have a Hibanberry now? I have to assume you have a Hibanberry. You die anyway. So I'm going to click Dragon Claw. Maybe he was baiting me to go for it and scouting out. I don't know, but he doesn't have a Hibanberry. The Dragalge goes down. So Mega, that's a kill I wasn't expecting to have. Charizard X kills Dragalge with Dragon Claw. That's a kill I was not expecting Charizard to get here. Scarf Tongue is the Greninja. Do you kill me with anything? Ice Beam. There's some rolls with Ice Beam that kill if you're Life Orb. Oh no, that's Protean. You're not Protean. So with Scald doesn't kill from here. So Hydro Pump would be required. Hydro Pump with a Life Orb would be a guaranteed KO. Without a Life Orb, which would be surprising for anything not to run a Life Orb, it actually has a couple of rolls that kill. But this is another chance for me to just click Flare Blitz. I mean, that kills Greninja. Flare Blitz kills Greninja here. Or switch out. But I don't think I want to switch out. I could also Roost, scout out what he's going to do. But if he has Dark Pulse, then I just want to kill this thing. Dragon Claw would let the Diancie in, so I kind of would rather click Flare Blitz, but then I take the recoil. I don't really care if I let the Diancie in, honestly, so I'm just... do I care if I let the Diancie in? Because he could just U-turn to try to get a little bit of chip damage. And go Diancie. At which point, Roost is 100% the best play. I'm going to click Flare Blitz. He does U-turn. He's going to go Diancie here, then, if he's clicking U-turn. If he's trying to bait that. Yeah, as soon as I thought of the U-turn, I was like, wait a minute, that's probably what he's going to do to try to put me in range of Scald. We didn't see the Life Orb, I don't think. I wasn't looking, to be perfectly honest. There's Diancie. We click Flare Blitz. And that kills the Diancie. So Mega Charizard X kills Diancie with Flare Blitz. Now there's nothing on his team that I can safely Roost against at this point. So I have to let this thing go down. We didn't see the Life Orb. So yeah, I can't really Roost against anything on his team. How much does this do to Coco? if he's ChoiceSpecs. You don't kill with Scald if you're Specs. And you also don't have speed. I assume you're Scarfed. At which point, only Gunk Shot can kill. Now, Gunk Shot can also kill my... Well, then I just switch into, like, Heracross and click Facade. Or Swords Dance. So, Charizard, I do believe... Actually, Gunk Shot does not kill my Charizard from here. Unless he's physically offensive. I do believe you've done your job, Charizard. I'm going to click Flare Blitz and just say, good job, Charizard. He's got Surf. Okay. So Coco comes in here 100 times out of 100. If he Specs, he doesn't have speed. I have enough speed to outspeed this thing. If he's Scarfed, he doesn't kill. He doesn't have any resistances or any immunities or resistances to Thunderbolt anymore. So that's a safe click. If he goes into Muck, which he could do, then it'll get its berry back. But honestly, do I care that much if Muck gets its berry back? Because I still have my Scolipede at full health. How much do I do to Muck? Because I think he's gonna preserve this thing, to be honest. So I could just U-turn again. Thunderbolt says it's doing potentially 50% or so to Muck. I'll Thunderbolt. If he goes Muck, he goes Muck. That's not a big deal. And I didn't write down Greninja kills Charizard X with Surf. And he does eat the berry. So what berry is it? Ayapapa. Berry. Okay. I have no knockoff or anything like that. But... And I do think Coco is incredibly useful in breaking down the Greninja. But I do have the ability to either click Thunderbolt again. I think he's going to recycle here. I kind of think he has to recycle here. So I'm just going to U-turn. I don't lose a ton. Put him down to 75%. And have a free switch into Heracross. Since Muck, Fire Punch, I'm just going to make it worst case scenario. Fire Punch does not kill. I could go Scolipede, but I'd rather go Heracross, because if he does click Knockoff, then he does go Flamethrower. Okay, not Fire Punch, and this thing has much lower special attack, and I have higher special defense, so... for a second I thought Flamethrower burned there. So I could close combat. He could easily go into Gallade. I could just Facade. If he goes Mega Gallade, Facade is better. I mean, close combat still does 94% to Gallade max. It does like 75, 90%. Facade's a little bit riskier because there's a chance it doesn't kill this. But it hits the Gallade. I mean, it's not like close combat doesn't hit the Gallade super hard, so I'm going to click that. It's just safer. And then I have to let this thing go down because it's not going to outspeed any of the rest of his Mons. And so I might as well pick up the KO here, or catch Gallade, hit the Gallade incredibly hard. The other good thing is that I still have the Scarm as well, and I still have the Coco. So Gallade is not the most threatening to me, as long as I can get rid of the Muck, which is the one thing stopping Coco from having some fun. He didn't recycle, which is sort of surprising. If he thinks I'm going to Earthquake, which is entirely reasonable because Earthquake is something that I could be carrying, then he has really no switch in to that. But I mean, Gallade is still his only thing that's going to be able to survive. But Earthquake's a roll. So I'm just going to close combat, kill the Muck. I'm not going to take any risks that the Gallade's going to come in there. There's no reason to. Heracross only has this one job. Kills Muck A with close combat. Since now I don't outspeed either of his Mons and don't really take a hit from either of his Mons, it's basically which one does he want to give a kill to? And then what does he want me to be able to bring in on the return there? Since Coco to Gallade, Dazzling Gleam doesn't Oko it, which is a bit of an issue. Not a big issue, but a bit of an issue. Okay, so I'm just gonna let this thing go down. I have a plan here. I didn't really talk about it out loud, but I established a plan, which is go Coco. Yeah, so he just Psycho Cuts. That's reasonable. There's no reason for me to do anything. Gallade kills Heracross with what's it called? Psycho Cut. So I'm gonna go into my Tapu Koko here. Dazzling Gleam does not kill, and I'm not going to even take a pretend chance that it will. I'm just gonna click U-turn, which will put him in range for where Dazzling Gleam can kill, or scout out that he is incredibly bulky, which is sort of what I just did. Works for me. He's got some bulk investment. I'm just going to go into Skarm, predicting the Earthquake here. I'm still at full health. He goes for the Psycho Cut again, which does nothing. I don't know what he's going to be able to do to Skarm. I do have the Rocky Helmet, and I also have the Rock Tomb, which means that... Which is actually possibly what I'm going to click, because then if Skarm just goes down, then I go Scolipede, and I'm guaranteed to outspeed. But I think Brave Bird is still the better play. Catching either of the two Mons that are here with a Brave Bird is fine by me. Taking the recoil isn't my favorite thing in the world, but that doesn't mean that I can't... I'm not going to be okay if I do take it. So... Yeah, I won't activate Torrent either. We know he's not Life Orb. I don't know if he specs, but even after Brave Bird recoil, I can take a hit from the Greninja as well, and it's a 2 KO on that. I put this thing in range of Dazzling Gleam, which means Coco wins the game, so he can't let this thing go. He can't let this thing take that kind of damage. So I will be able to just hit this Greninja with this Brave Bird here. And we see that it is 50%, so he has a little bit of bulk. Little tiny bit of bulk. Now, Scald Burn would be unfortunate, but I think my best click is Rock Tomb here. Because while Skarmory won't outspeed the Greninja the turn after that, Scolipede will. And I think that's going to be a big deal. So I'm going to click Rock Tomb here. He goes straight for a Surf. You can scout out if you're specs or not. I missed. Okay. Not specs. Switches out his Greninja. Wow! What? What was that play? That was the wrong play. Oh my gosh, I'm just sacking at this point. But that was not the correct play, in my opinion. That puts this thing... Yeah, okay, so Skarmory dies to Brave Bird recoil. But that allows Coco to come in here. Well, actually, hold on. No, Extrasensory... So, okay, I need to know if... Does Shadow Sneak into Extrasensory kill Coco? Because if it does, Shadow Sneak does 20%. Greninja, Extrasensory. That would kill Coco. I know you're not specs. I know you're not any boosting item. And Extrasensory would kill my Scolipede. So I kind of have to go Scoly here. And hope that I outspeed. Now, if he's running max speed, Mega Gallade, then he does outspeed me. But it ends up not making a difference. I would have to go Coco anyway after that, and hope he doesn't have Gunk Shot or Extrasensory on his Greninja. I click Earthquake here. I really don't think there's a reason for me to do anything else. And if he's Speed Creeping Charizard, I outspeed him, which is the speed that I expect him to be. Missing that Rock Tomb sucks. I won't lie. Really sucks. Now he kind of has to stay in and sack this thing. He might just Shadow Sneak thinking that I'm going to outspeed him because I would run enough speed to outspeed this. But he's actually going to switch it out. That's a questionable play in my opinion. I don't know if that's the play I would have made, since I am able to just click Earthquake on the Greninja. And it is Life Orb boosted Earthquake, which will take out the Greninja. And now I'm guaranteed to outspeed the Mega Gallade instead of it being a chance that I didn't. With Earthquake. And now I just click Earthquake again. And it's sort of what I planned. Scolipede is on the field at the end of the game and will win it for me, but... and I'm not clicking Mega Horn or Aqua Tail or anything else that has a chance to miss ever again. My god, I can't... That thing move is 95% accurate. Like, I clicked... Hold on. Can I just do this in my head? Is that the only move I clicked this entire battle that wasn't 100% accurate? That's the only move that I have clicked, I think, the entire battle that wasn't 100% accurate, and I missed it. That's ridiculous. Okay, game? Like, Scolipede kills Mega Gallade with Earthquake. And that will do it. We have defeated Vepsis despite the game being like, hey, you're going to miss literally every move that is not 100% accurate that you click. But thankfully, Scolipede didn't have to click any moves that weren't 100% accurate, was able to pick up the 2-0 victory there, and I do think that depending on what his Greninja was, if it was Scarfed, then I don't know. It would have been... If he had Extra Sensory, it was a problem. If he had Gunk Shot, it wasn't. Is sort of where that would go if he was Scarfed. So, anyway... Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys back here next week as we continue our UBL journey. We are picked up our first win in this league. Thank goodness. I really did have a plan set for this week, and I'm glad that I was able to execute. So excited to not see Moltres, though. I don't know if you guys might have figured that out. And I really like the team he brought, but I do think Moltres was really scary. So anyway, I will see you guys all back here next week. Take care, everybody.